everyone, Jenna Kramer here, and today I'm going to teach you about a vocabulary strategy called Kick Me. So it has a humorous title and it comes from when students used to write notes and then put them on each other's back, kick me being one of the most famous phrases. So it's kind of funny. But this activity is something that you can use with students in any grade, 6-12. And it can really be adapted to be in any subject area as well, because if you have a list of vocabulary words that students are learning about in a specific unit or in a text, then this activity would be appropriate. Let me show you how to get to this resource. If you're at the Lodi High School or Lodi Middle School webpage under Staff, you'll see the Professional Development heading, and then Literacy Resources is where my Lodi Literacy webpage lives. Underneath the Strategies tab, you'll see all these different activities that I put up. So if you're ever looking for an activity or strategy that you want to use with students, this is a really good place to go. I've used all of these strategies with secondary students before, so if you'd like me to give you some direction as far as which activity might pair well with a different text, you can just let me know and we can talk about that. So this activity I titled Vocab Kick Me, and when you click on the button it will take you to the Google Doc where I have this activity outlined. So I have the materials needed listed, the directions. We scroll down, you can see a sample worksheet, and again, if you want to change these categories to be something different to fit your discipline or the text that you're having students read or what you want them to pull out of it, feel free to change those. This is just an idea. And then there is an alternate version, which I'll talk about at the end. So really, your students are going to need one sticky note, they're going to need something to write with, and then you're going to want to come up with a list of vocabulary words from the text that you're using or the unit that you're studying. The other thing you're going to want to make available to students is that worksheet so that they can record their thoughts and take notes. So each student will get one post-it note, and my recommendation is that you review the list of vocabulary words with students before they write their definition or partake in this activity. If you really wanted to do this as an anticipatory type activity where you want to know which vocabulary words students know or don't know, I've seen teachers do that as well. But for the first time, if you try this activity, I would do it in this order. So once you review the list of words with the whole class, students are going to choose one vocabulary word to write down a definition on their post-it note. So the other thing you could do is assign students a vocabulary word, and then on their post-it note they're writing down that definition. Once they're done writing down the definition on their post-it note, that's what they're going to put on their backs, and you're going to want to set up the activity for a certain amount of time. So maybe 10 to 15 minutes depending on how many words you have. I recommend doing it that way instead of saying you need to find 10 words, because then students are engaged in the activity the whole time. And some students might have 3 words, some students might have 15, and you can kind of differentiate it in that way for students. So essentially, the word definition that students write down on their post-it notes, they're going to be responsible for teaching that word to their classmate. So the person who is coming up to a new student, they can look at their partner's back and they can see if they know what the vocabulary word is based on the definition, and then students can have a conversation about it. Once students are in that conversation, the partner is going to be responsible for recording the vocabulary word, the definition, and the sentence if you're using this template. So then they switch roles and the other student becomes the teacher and they get to discuss their words and teach it to one another. So after the set amount of time, you're going to bring it back as a whole class, And then students can share out what they learned. If there are any words that are still confusing, you can clarify those for students. And if students had choice, there might be some words that weren't selected. So you're going to want to review those words with students as well. And oftentimes those are the words that are the most difficult because students didn't choose them on purpose. So as far as this activity, there's actually an example of it on Teaching Channel. So you can click on the hyperlink and it will take you to a 7th grade English Language Arts example. And I'm not going to take time to show that right now, but just so you know, it's here for you. And I would highly recommend viewing it if you do want to use this activity with your students, just as an example to see how this teacher incorporated it within her subject area. So the thing that you're going to see on that video is that students aren't writing down the definition on their sticky note, they're actually writing down the vocabulary word. So she kind of switched the activity. And depending on how you want to structure your lesson, you could do the activity either way. And I would love to come in and co-teach this lesson with you if you want another adult in the room. It's just sometimes helpful to circulate and help students make sure that they're doing the activity the way that we want them to. Also, if you want me to just co-plan with you as far as how many words might make sense and what is the appropriate time amount, those are also things that I can help with. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.